I think we'll go ahead and get started. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
And welcome to the University of the District of Columbia School of Business and Public Administration. We'd like to thank Dean Mo Sapari for hosting us this morning as we make this very important announcement. I'm John Gordon, the university's Communications Executive Director. We've got 6 people that are speaking this morning, and I just learned that Deputy Mayor Anna Smith is not going to be able to join us. But at this time, I'd like to call on our esteemed President, Ronald Mason.
Good morning.
Good morning.
And welcome to the University of the District of Columbia, the public institution of higher learning in and for the nation's capital. We are here today to announce a unique partnership between the District of Columbia's public education system, 3 historically black universities, the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, and the Clifton Foundation. It is called the Capital Builders Center, an initiative to identify and develop entrepreneurial talent from among the district's high school graduates, and to build upon and expand the culture of entrepreneurship in the district. The program will be housed at UDC, where 72% of our students are DC public and public charter school graduates. We have partnered with Morgan State University and Bowie State University because by reason of the Federal Tuition Assistance Grants, TAG, many of their students are also DC residents. Thurgood Marshall College Fund is involved because the educational productivity of HBCUs, particularly with respect to underserved students, far exceeds that of high-resource universities. And as the membership association of all public HBCUs, we will be working with Thurgood Marshall College Fund to expand the Builders Initiative nationally among other HBCUs. Finally, we are happy to work with the Cliftons, Jim and Connie, and their foundation for providing the seed funding, the Gallup Strengths Finders and BP10 assessment tools, and the insight necessary to construct and expand this work. Let me close by saying that I'm excited about this initiative because of the way it identifies talent. Unlike most standardized tests, this 20-minute web-based assessment does not correlate directly to race, income, or gender. It finds in a student the quality that this nation was built on: grit, the passion, stick-to-itness, and belief in a better future that has been stifled or overlooked in too many of our young people. It is our intention to find such raw talents, no matter what their circumstances in life, and help them build pathways to success for themselves, their families, and our communities. And it all starts here on April 28th on Dream Builders Day in our state-of-the-art student center, April 28th, and we'll have, we hope, 200 to 300 young people here are going to be assessed so that we can find 40 that will go through a summer boot camp, and of those 40, 20 will go on to be involved in this exciting program that you are about to hear more about. Welcome to UDC.
Mr. Mason mentioned that we are privileged to have a number of partners, and the District of Columbia Public School System is the feeder pipeline for students coming into our program. So at this time, please welcome the Interim Chancellor of DC Public Schools, Dr. Amanda Alexander.
Good morning. I'm short. Bring this down a little. Yep. Thank you so much for having me here. As the gentleman mentioned, I'm Dr. Amanda Alexander, the Interim Chancellor for DCPS. I am absolutely thrilled to be here today on this joyous occasion. It means so much to me and our students that they have this opportunity. At DCPS, we are committed to ensuring that our students have real-world, real-life experiences, and that is connected to the learning, the content that they receive in the classrooms. So this Capital Builders Center is yet another example of the opportunity to empower our students to thrive in this real world of ours. I have several people to thank. First and foremost, I of course would love to thank our Mayor Muriel Bowser, for her commitment to investing in our city's schools and our students. And then I'd like to thank The partnership that we've had with UDC, of course, President Mason, many of our students are enrolled, dual enrolled, and have the opportunity to take coursework while still in high school. The second group that I'd like to thank is, of course, the Clifton Foundation, which has hosted 6 career-ready DCPS interns and provided them with in-depth real-world training. We're grateful for that experience that our students had over the summer. And then, of course, this wouldn't be possible without generous funding from the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. So we are appreciative of their support as well. You know, for those of you who don't know, I am the product of an HBCU. I had the privilege of attending Howard University, right down the street, and I know the power of what they deliver to our students, and I'm grateful for that experience and grateful for UDC's partnership and the other HBCUs that are involved in this project. In closing, I'd like to say that I just look forward to seeing the success of this program and our continued partnership with all of you. Thank you.
Mr. Mason has worked very closely with Jim Clifton and his team, and so I'm going to allow Mr. Mason to introduce Jim Clifton.
I could just say Jim's here, but I'm not. So Jim Clifton I've been working with for many years now, mainly as the chairman of the board of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund, but I've gotten to know him and his work in a larger field, especially through Strength Finders, and the notion that we should not look for the deficits in young people, but find their strengths and build programs around their strengths. And I think that's something that has served me well in the institutions I've worked at over the years. So without further ado, here's Jim.
Well, Ron, thank you for your partnership and friendship for a long time. In your comments, I think you kind of said it all, but I like the word feeder system. My sister Connie and I, we get a real kick out of students. We love students, but we're especially interested in economic development. And there's potential in this town that we don't have really good technology to discover and have early identification and then develop. And I think it's the most important talent in America right now, which are people that have kind of a God-given ability to build something. But for us to create a dragnet here in Washington and find them, I don't think there's anything more important than doing that. And we're thrilled out of our minds to be a part of this experiment. Experiment suggests that it might not work. This will work. We won't stop until it does work. But you know, Americans are good. There's fantastic feeder systems for music and entertainment. You know, so they identify them at real early ages. Hell, we all can. You hear somebody sing at 8-year-old or 10-year-old, you know. And if you're really good, you're on your way to Juilliard. But early identification and extreme development of those talents we are so good at. Don't even get me started on sports. I mean, hell, they can identify running backs and hockey players, you know, in junior high. And they get special treatment. And you guys, it works. God born those people just a little bit differently. Another one's innovation. People that can read a book and learn and recall and reason from it. Some people are a lot better than others at that. Those are great talents. They're not what our country needs most. What our country needs most are people that have exactly what Ron said, an extraordinary amount of grit and determination. They set their minds to something. They have an insatiable need for independence, but there's no feeder system for them. There's no way to get early identification and have that high intentionality of their development, but that's exactly what this experiment is. It's the only one anywhere in the world with the exception of one that, so Cliftons are from Nebraska, and we've just built one there. So now there are 2, and there's nothing more important to me, to Connie, to Ron, to Emily, to all of us, that this thing, and William, that this thing works, and it will. But Ron, we are super juiced, so thank you very much.
Thank you, Jim. We are a proud member school of the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. And at the helm of that organization is Dr. Harry Williams. Come on up and say a few words for us, please.
All right. Well, thank you for one student clapping and acknowledging the president of Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Appreciate that. This is a great day, and it's a big day too. And as you notice, 2 young students came right up here when I was introduced. And these are 2 products of students who are going to do some incredible things in this world. And I want them to introduce themselves to you, because when I looked at the run of show, you gave me 1 minute. You gave the chairman of the board of Thurgood Marshall Foundation 2 minutes. So I recognize they're outranking this. So I'm going to take 30 seconds of my time and yield it to these 2 young people so they can introduce themselves to this audience, because you'll get a sense of why we are doing this type of work here today. Go ahead.
My name's Deshaun Ridley, and I attend Bishop McNamara High School. And this past summer, I was part of the Clifton Foundation Washington Builders Strengths Program. And through that program, I learned entrepreneurship, and we created our own business, and we had a $2,000 profit within about 2 weeks, but the program was about 4 weeks.
Hello, my name is Johnny Young. I attend Bishop McNamara High School in Forestville, Maryland. I will be attending the Morgan State University in the fall. Through the Strengths Lab program and the Clifton Foundation, I was able to see that I can change the communities that I'm in. And through my entrepreneurial strengths and through the network that I've built, I know that it's very much possible. So thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Nakaja Knight, and I'm a senior at School Without Walls. And I'm actually a 2016 alumni from the Builders Program. And what I did during the Builders Program was I created a business with a team of DCPS students across the DC area. And how we started to do that was we were able to identify what our strengths were. And this wasn't only important because I got to identify what my strengths were. I was able to identify what my team members' strengths were. So we were able to work together to create not only a business, but a successful business that was able to generate over $7,600 in sales in less than a month. Isn't that exciting? Right? So the biggest impact I got from the Builders Program was I got to understand who I was, but I also got to understand how important it is to network. It brings value into networking because I'm able to create and propel towards my aspirations and my dreams of creating my own law firm just with networking and talking to people and understanding what my strengths are and using them to get to where I want to go. And why am I so excited to have this program introduced to other DCPS students is because it's important to allow students to understand what their strengths are as well so they can create their businesses and their dreams and their aspirations to move forward. It starts with knowing that you are powerful and you do have strength and you can become your own boss. So I'm excited and thank you so much.
Now you can see why this event, this program today is a big deal. And I want to say congratulations to the president of this university and to the chairman of the board, Jim Clifton, and Connie for grabbing this vision, because this is where it starts right here. Thurgood Marshall is a member organization. We have 47 schools in our organization, and today we're partnering with 3 of our schools. And the goal, the long-term goal, is to scale this up and to impact all of our students in a way that's going to create the talent, to create that pipeline we're talking about in students who will create these businesses. These young people right here, they got it. You can see it in them. And that's what's going to happen come the 28th. And when they're going to come on campus, they're going to go through that process, and we are proud to be a part of that at the Thurgood Marshall College Fund. Thank you.
Thank you. If anybody wants to get in early on these young people's future, I'm sure you're looking for investors as we speak, right?
One's gone already.
One's gone. I think Jim Clifton's already got one. So, good. I see David Wilson just walked in. I'm going to introduce my fellow HBCU presidents, David Wilson from Morgan State and Aminta Bro from Bowie State. Yes, Bowie State. Yes. You know, these presidencies are not easy things to do. And if you work at a historically black college and university, it's probably a little more difficult than most. Because, you know, the history of America means that we don't have the wealth that a lot of these other institutions have. But with dedicated people, and just to show you how dedicated we are in putting this program together, I happened to text Aminta one day And she texted me right back and gave me all the answers I needed. But then I found out that she was actually in the middle of her inauguration that day. So if that's not commitment, I don't know what is. So let me bring her up first, and then David will follow.
Thank you so much. And the main reason you got such a quick response is because of the excitement that I have for this program and for you, President Mason. And so let me start there by thanking you for introducing us to this wonderful new initiative and allowing us to be in partnership with you on this. My name is Aminta Rowe, and I'm the 10th president of Bowie State University. And thank you very much. Thank you. And we're very, very honored at BSU to be a part of this partnership. I want to thank Jim and Connie Clifton for this opportunity and for what you're doing, your leadership, to change the way that we think about higher education. That's exactly what we need to do. We are the first historically black institution in the state of Maryland at BSU. And since 1865, students have changed a little bit. And we need to keep pace with them. When I look at these young people here and the energy and the excitement that they bring to this room and their careers, that's where we need to be. That's where we need to align ourselves with 21st century generation of learners. And they are looking to us for a different model. And so this partnership allows us to align with the strategic initiatives of the system of Maryland, of which Bowie State University is a part. It also aligns with our vision that we have for BSU, which is entitled Racing to Excellence. And two of the main components that this aligns so beautifully with is partnering with different types of institutions than we have in the past. We're very much competitors on the court and on the fields when we compete in sports, but in this arena, we need to align and partner to ensure their success. And that requires innovation. It requires a different way of looking at education. And yes, experiential learning is a key component to that. So I'm very excited about the internships that will be afforded early on in the experience, and allowing students to get their hands-on experiences to link classroom learning to real-world experiences, and allowing us to partner with institutions across different the academic setting with Morgan State, with UDC. And so we're very excited about this experiment, as you called it. And through experimentation, we'll find out what works, how to fine-tune it, and to take this up to a different level altogether so that throughout the country, other higher ed institutions will learn from this model so that we can ensure the success of these young people. So thank you so very much for the impact that I know that this program will have. And I want to thank also the Thurgood Marshall College Fund for being such a wonderful supporter in this mission of educating our youth for our communities, to give back to our communities, enrich the workplaces across this country, and enrich our communities across the country. So thank you all for allowing us to be part of this, and we're looking to get back to you and let you know about all the exciting things that we're doing. And just as a footnote here, one of our students today talked about your high school. You're with the School Without Walls. I'm a Philadelphian. I went to Parkway High School, which was also known as a school without walls. And I raise that because what you learn with a school without walls is experiential education. The city is your classroom, and you learn so many more things. That learning happens all around you. And so I'll be interested in talking with you more about your experiences and sharing more with students who come into the program about the richness of experiential learning and finding your strengths. That's key, finding your strengths and building on that. So again, thank you to the Clifton Foundation and to all the partners. I'll look forward to racing to excellence and bringing us all together as one community. Thank you so very much.
Good morning. I'm David Wilson, president of Morgan State University, and I certainly join President Rowe and Dr. Harry Williams from Thurgood Marshall in expressing our delight at Morgan to be a part of this incredible initiative. When President Mason called me and explained to me this opportunity, I think it took me a nanosecond to say absolutely, hands down, a monosyllabic yes, because it aligns so perfectly to all the things that we are about at Morgan On the one hand, I'll say a little bit about that, but more importantly, it creates this incredible opportunity with the support of the Clifton Foundation for 3 very phenomenal institutions in this region to come together and to say, you know, it really is all about the future. And how do we imbue young people, starting in high school, with the set of skills that they absolutely need in order to be the innovators, in order to be the entrepreneurs of the future. And so we at Morgan raised our hands so quickly when President Mason extended the invitation, because starting this fall, we will require every single rising sophomore at Morgan, before they can get, in the vernacular, their sheepskin from the university, to have one of 4 experiences. They will either have to have an internship experience, a study abroad experience, an experience working with a faculty member in a research setting, or a service learning experience. And so this creates a wonderful pathway to enable many of our students at Morgan to have one of those experiences. And so I don't want to be long-winded, but simply to say that this is just a phenomenal opportunity. I hope that the 40 young people that will be touched by the program initially, and the 20 that will be supported in the first phase, will recognize what an incredible opportunity you have. We are raising our hands at Morgan and saying, yes, you have many, many college options, 3 of them right here in this room, and we want you to make the choice that you think is best for you, and we extend our arms to you in partnership. And we do attract a great deal number of students from the DC area through the DC TAG program. And so do what this program is asking of you and more. And if you don't just become satisfied, with the minimum, if you do, 3-4 times more than what is being asked of you, then there will be no hindrance to your going anywhere you want to go at the end of this incredible experience. And so, lastly, President Mason, I know that young people understand the importance of having a support group, of being amongst individuals who are thinking about the future the same way. And this program is also designed to do that, to bring together like-minded young people who are serious about the future, who are understanding that you are the future. And sometimes it's just not about preparing yourself to work for someone else. It's about creating your own opportunity, and then in the vernacular, having your posse there to support you. So let's go forward with that posse. Let's support each other. We'll be there to support you. Thank you very much, UDC, President Mason, the Clifton Foundation, and Dr. Williams from the Thurgood Marshall Fund for making this opportunity available. Thank you.
If there are any questions from anyone in the room, we'll take them at this time. I guess you folks have been real thorough with your explanations in making this very important announcement. We do want to take advantage of a couple of photo ops at the end of this program, and this will conclude our press announcement for this morning.